Zines are tricky to define because there's so many different kinds of zines. When I think about what a zine is, I think about the mindset of making zines, which is do-it-yourself. Complete autonomy over the idea of what the zine, what's in the zine, the production of the zine, and sharing the zine. It's a mindset of having complete control over all those elements and sharing what you think is important. Today, though, there seems to be a resurgence going on, which is really exciting, and it's exciting to ponder about it because they seem to be in reaction to the internet. They seem to be this sort of physical, tangible exercise that people are doing as they get bored with sharing stuff online, or maybe they don't find it fulfilling enough. And so you're seeing zine fests sprouting up all over the Bay Area. There's the San Francisco Zine Fest, which is a really awesome event. It brings together all kinds of interesting people. Over the last 5 years, attendance doubling, and it's great.
Yeah, we're here in Berkeley, California at the David Brower Center, and today's the 7th annual East Bay Alternative Book and Zine Fest, eBabes for short. eBabes is different in that it really represents the culture of the East Bay area. I think the East Bay has its own unique identity, and I think that's reflected in the work that comes to eBabes. People come from all over the country to be here, but there are a lot of folks from Berkeley, Oakland, Alameda County, and other places that you won't find in other festivals. The work that you find here is deeply personal. It's very unique work that's produced not to make a profit, but more therapeutic in some senses, but just as a more pure form of expression. Zine streets tend to be fairly solitary. Zine fests are really the only place where these people who would otherwise be solitary can come together and kind of share their work, see what other people are doing, and kind of see each other face to face.
I like the combo of it all. Just a mixture of that specific artist's aesthetics within a small, like few pages.
It's all about keeping it accessible and sort of less expensive. We don't like the snobby art scene, so I think that's a big part of what makes zines so cool, is that you can trade them, you can sell them for cheap, you can make them pretty cheap, and you can get really clever about how you produce them.
Yeah, so this specific zine is done by an artist named Kelly Keltos, based off of here in San Francisco. Her goal was to make it like a miniature magazine, but also having the large print inside. So, I mean, a couple people who have purchased it have framed it, and it is like a nice bigger piece of artwork with the smaller images right inside. Set it up like a little magazine, like a little book.
We've not been dating long, so there are many mysteries left for us to discover. Like what we're like to each other when we're grouchy, or sleep deprived, or fed up, or lost to hopelessness. We are in the throes of new love and everything gleams. When I arrive at Laura's house, she waves at me from her front window, then comes out 7 minutes later with her designer purse and cane. This is the same every time. She remarks on the weather, and we have a 3-minute conversation about her children before we arrive at her beauty salon. She gets her hair done every Saturday morning to last the whole week. This ritual takes 4 hours. I would define and link zine culture with do-it-yourself culture, with putting resources together and coming together not for the sake of selling a product, but for creating community.
So my friends and I run this project called One Stroll, and basically it's sharing a photographer's entire roll of film, unedited. We don't leave any frame out, and it's along one street or one area for about 1 hour. Wanted to find like a tactile, tangible way to share the concept, so I thought by taking inspiration from this 1950s era film cartridge, you could kind of repurpose this and use it almost like a magazine style, printing a photographer's entire roll of film like this, and yeah, just a fun way to share the whole roll of film. Give people like a real tactile experience of looking at what someone's contact sheet would look like, or the positive version of a 35mm roll. I think people they just want something to hold in their hands rather than to like viscerally experience through a screen or something like that. So giving people something to hold on to grab.
I came to the topic of confinement through thinking about the way things were after Trump won. So I was just interested in the different ways that people are maybe dealing with this topic, and I invited people to respond to it artistically. So every artist got an invitation in a folder like this, and it came with a letter from me contextualizing why I wanted to make this zine, and inviting them to contribute to it, the confinement zine. And it also came with three pieces of art paper in the size that the zine will come in. So I wanted them to make the original art on the size of paper that the zine was going to be, and then they sent it back to me in the mail. So we've got 5 artists. Each artist gets a spread. That's 10 pages. And then with the covers and inside covers, we ended up with 16 pages. It'll be 4 sheets of paper, 16-page zine. So that's the original. And I separate out just the black, and I'll separate just these gray areas out. So that this I'll print in red, and then this I'll print in black. And then when they're on top of each other, it'll look like that, with the red behind the black. Actually, I think it'll look really nice. My printer only prints in red and black, and I could get more colors, but it would cost a lot more money, and it's difficult to actually find the colors and the drums for the colors. I have red and black, and I'm very happy with red and black. I think that it creates an aesthetic that I like, and it creates boundaries to work with that I like. When an artist gives me their work, we'll either take away their color and turn it into black and white, or give it color and give it some red. There's something about working with constraints, working within them, and being creative in them that I really like, working with the red and black. When I talk to someone about printing for them, that's one of the first things I talk about, is that it's going to be printed in red and black, and it's a very specific aesthetic that they have to be willing to, succumb to. They have to kind of let go of their work and let it be transformed, because that's what's going to happen. Well, I think that the zine is a great format because zines are very personal, and I'm trying to put as much effort into making the zine itself look very personal, and I don't want to say precious, but I want to say not something that you would just throw around, something that you would maybe leaf through carefully Yeah. Yeah. Looks good. Fold it in half. So that's the working cover right now, and then I'll do the back. I think it's good.
I would encourage anyone with an interest in making a zine to go for it.